if you don't know who Peter McWilliams was a publisher and a writer. He wrote a book called Ain't Nobody's Business If You Do. He was very well known in the Libertarian Party, and he, unfortunately, before he died, he was a defendant in a court case. He was trying to sponsor some grows in Los Angeles back in the late 90s, and when he did that, they got busted by the feds. And he, unfortunately, Peter was an AIDS patient, and they would not allow him to use cannabis as a condition of his release because they were drug testing him. And as a result, unfortunately, Peter ended up dying choking on his vomit. But he was a hero to us before he died, and we were so happy for many years to honor Peter and his memory. But now we're honoring Kevin Black, and he's somebody we're going to miss. He just passed away this last June, and Kevin was the head of security here for Hempfest for a while. And what he did is he turned the Hempfest security into Hempfest safety, making this a very peaceful event. As you know, Hempfest has always been very peaceful partially because cannabis consumers are very peaceful people, aren't we? And we deserve that kind of respect. And Kevin also was a bridge between law enforcement and the Hempfest family. So he performed a very important service here for Hempfest. He also, and that's important to get along with law enforcement, we want them to respect us because cannabis consumers are some of the nicest, most honest, decent, intelligent, creative people that you know. It's more than I know, that's all I can say. We're the good people, and we really deserve our equal rights. And it's time that we're treated that way and end this discrimination. Kevin also was a regional leader for the November Coalition, which brought light to many people in prison on drug offenses, their stories, as did our book, Shattered Lives, Portraits from America's Drug War, that is going to be coming out later this year as an e-book. It came out in 1998 and 2000, but it's coming out later this year. We're going to update it and put some news stories because, unfortunately, there's still way too many people in prison, still way too many people getting arrested for marijuana offenses all over this country. But meanwhile, I want to thank you. Thank you to Washington for passing I-502. I know it's not perfect, and a lot of people aren't so happy with the way it's rolling out. But it's sure sent a wonderful message around the world that we need to legalize it, that we need to stop this discrimination against cannabis consumers in the workplace, the discrimination that unfortunately is still going on. People take these P tests and then they can't get a job. And that's not right, it's not fair, and it has nothing to do with whether they can do a job or if they're impaired on a job or anything. It's just outright discrimination. And we have to say no to drug testing. Now, Kevin also he was also involved at the Million Marijuana Marches that are still going on these days around the world. And this year I got to go to Australia and Nimbin there, which is kind of like the cannabis capital of Australia. And I have you know that the world is watching Washington. I'm from California. We're watching Washington. And next year, we're going to legalize it in California. And we're going to do it. Hopefully, we're going to do it right. We're going to learn from some of your mistakes. But still, we still honor you for your experiment here and for what you're doing. And hopefully, you'll all get involved and demand that our rights are still respected, that we can do it the right way. You know, this is all about equal rights. For me, it's always been about equal rights. Cannabis consumers deserve equal rights, don't we? What do we want? Equal rights. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? Equal rights. When do we want it? Now. Thank you so much. Keep up the fight. It's not over. There's still too many people in prison, too many people getting arrested. We need to stop that and bring freedom to the world. But we're watching, and we really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Have a good Hempfest.